Hello, welcome to another first appearance rating video. This is X-Men 15 first appearance of Master Mole. This is the first slab I bought when I returned to the hobby in 2008. I took a break from late summer of 2003 to late 2008, and when I returned, this is the first book that I won in an auction. I have no idea about an old label or new label, but of course, as those are familiar with CGC, this is an old label, a real old one, because it doesn't even have first appearance note. It just has Jack Kirby and Dick Ayer art right there, and the origin of the beast, but it say nothing about Master Mole. The newer label now say, first appearance of Master Mole. And Master Mole is pretty cool looking. I'm always partial to giant robots. But what hurt him in the rating is that he is basically a robot. So because of that, he only gonna get 3 out of 5. But his look is cool. His relation to the awesome Sentinel is cool. But in the end, he's just a giant robot. As far as the story, I like the story too. Typical Silver Age. I read the story with my omnibus reprint of the Silver Age X-Men, so I'm familiar with the story. It's a 3 out of 5, so Massimo will get a 6 out of 10 for me. Now, one of the things that I heard often is, a lot of people love old label CGC because they feel that it is undergraded. There's a lot of talk about how buying old label is better because the books are more tightly graded, undergraded, as well as the books, meaning the books are not pressed. Some of that is true. It's not a myth. Okay, I want to debunk that. There are some truth to it, but it's a fairly broad generalization of the issues. I can tell you, I will give you a closer look and point out the flaws that this book have, that it deserves an 8.5 at best. So I'm not the type to fall for the old saying, old label goodness, as if everything in the old label is somehow undergraded or undervalued. As far as I'm concerned, being a person that have looked at a lot of slabs over the past many years, there are overgraded books in slabs and undergraded books in slabs in any given year. And I certainly won't pay premium for any books in an old label, because to me, I pay based on what I see, not what this little number say, okay? So I go by the saying, buy the books, not the label. I will show the book at the end. Next up is first appearance of the new Teen Titan. Great book. This one have a pretty decent story by Jim Starlin. The art here was okay. It was inked by somebody else. I'm not familiar with the inker, but I think the end result of the product was not all that great. I will give a close-up look later also. But as far as the Teen Titan is concerned, I like the story. I like the complexity that they are trying to weave, the mystery, why Raven pulled the team together, and why their memories are not set, because it seems like some of the members already met and some don't remember meeting the others. The team, the look, everything get a 4 out of 5 for me as far as the team. The only reason is I'm not thrilled about half of the team. I like Starfire. I think she's awesome. I think she's cool looking with the orange skin and her fiery hair. Josh Perez does a wonderful job making her really cute. I like Changeling. I like Kid Flash. I am indifferent about the rest of the team. Cyborg, Raven. Her backstory is what's interesting, but as far as her power, I'm never a big fan of that kind of power, the mental power, And then Robin, nothing special about him. Flash was okay, but because of that, it's 4 out of 5. As far as the story, I give it a 5 out of 5. It's definitely a good story that would get me excited to buy the first issue for sure. There's no doubt in my mind, if I bought this book off the rack, which I did not, I would be anticipating the first issue of the new Teen Titan and buy it right away. No doubt in my mind. So a 9 out of 10, pretty high mark for me for the new Teen Titans. Since I brought up that book that had Jim Starlin, I figure it's a good time to take out this epic magazine with a beautiful Gulacy, how do you pronounce his name? Paul Gulacy, I have no idea, but I'm a fan of his art, and he does a beautiful cover here, and this is the first time Dreadstar was introduced. And I think Jim Starlin, by this point, his maturation, that he evolved his art into something very different from the days of Warlock. It's beautiful. It's beautifully drawn. I will show you the insides to show you it's beautiful. The character was interesting. If I was buying this book off the rack, I would be looking forward to see a Dreadstar title and buy that too, and no doubt. And I did. I did not buy this book off the rack, but I did buy Dreadstar 1 off the rack right away. The book that introduced me to Jim Starlin. The art in here is a little bit different than the art in the Dreadstar series, and it's beautiful because the format he using here is almost like it's hard to explain, see, almost like watercolor painting brushwork instead of the typical penciling and inking that you see with comic books. But it's beautiful. You'll see it. So Dreadstar, the character get a 4 out of 5 for me for sure, and then the story get a 4 out of 5 for me for sure, because an 8 out of 10, definitely interesting. I like it a lot, and I would be buying the series. I did not buy this one off the rack. My first Epic magazine was the one that had the beautiful painted cover by Barry Windsor Smith. I have shown that before, but that was the first Epic magazine I bought, and I bought the entire series all the way to the end. I always, and it was the only magazine that I bought at the time. And I had seen many other ones, but for some reason I like this one over Heavy Metal or the Conan magazine. And that's it. If you want to stick around and see the inside of this book and a close-up of the X-Men slab, stick around. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, so here's a close-up look of the X-Men 15, and the corners and edges are pretty nice looking, okay, as you can see. It's a little overhang crease right there, but not a big deal. But let's look at all the ticks at the spine. Okay, look at that right there. There's a lot of spine stress right there. Look at that right there, whereby Marvel Girl, as you can see. Okay, and then all along the spine. Okay, so there's a lot of flaws on that spine, and even that little overhang right there. That overhang would be enough to keep this book maximum. See, even the little crease right there. And then to top that off, there's a corner crease right there as well. It's probably about, maybe a 1/4 inch. But anyhow, as you can see, if you look at this book, okay, and sell it raw as an 8.5, there's gonna be a whole lot of people that's gonna disagree with that grade. So this is why I'm not a big fan of the old saying that old label goodness. Show me the book. I care about my own eyes. I don't need to determine a book by the label, whether it's new or old. Okay, so here is the Dreadstar story. Look at that. So here's a beautiful copy that I have. Gorgeous, newsstand fresh. The first part of the book is a beautiful story drawn by Russell, one of those few authors that I probably will spotlight one of these days. One of those artists that should have done more. I wish had done more with comic books, but what he did was fantastic. So here you go, as you can see. It's beautifully drawn. Gorgeous. Look at that. I'm not sure the techniques that were used, but it's certainly very different from the typical comic books as far as penciling, inking, and coloring. Not sure what it is or was. For those who understand and know what techniques this is, let me know. Look at that. That's awesome. As you can see, it's very, there's a touch of Jim Starlin here still as far as the way the panels are laid out, okay? But it's you can see he changed a lot since the day of drawing Warlock. Look at that. Great action. Like I said, if I bought this book off the rack, I would be rooting for the series for sure. As in mini epic magazine, multiple stories by different creators. So they divide up the Dreadstar into 2 parts, I believe. Been a while since I flipped through this book. Okay, here you go. Here is the remaining part of Dreadstar. Just look at that. That's crazy looking right there. That is just beautiful right there. Beautiful painting. Look at that. Can you imagine if the Dreadstar, the entire series, was drawn this way? It would have been a masterpiece. It's so beautiful. And that's it. That's the end of the video, and I hope you enjoy the spotlight. Thanks for watching.